And we're live with another edition of Notes on the Newsfeed. It's weird when the camera is over there. I always feel strange. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and we're live with Notes on the Newsfeed, my segment where I share with you headlines from my newsfeed, because we need to get a survey of what's going on in the world, and we don't always have time to read all of the articles. But I'm going to share with you the headlines, and also if I have any thoughts, ideas, perspective on the headlines, on the article, if I got a chance to read the article, and or the subject matter at large, I'll share that with you as well. But as the title says, it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. So let us proceed. Okay, give me one moment. I wonder if I can flip this midstream. I'm going to test something out. Please forgive me. Yes! Reward increase. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're working on our first 1,000 subscribers. So if you are one of the first 1,000 charter subscribers, oh, look at my sweatshirt. Thank you. I appreciate it. Share, comment, like, all of that other good stuff. I'll say it again, probably at the end. Reward increased for information on missing CDC worker Timothy Cunningham. So we know that's the one who's been missing. He worked for the CDC. He went home early. Apparently, he had been passed up for a promotion or something. He had told one of his neighbors to erase his number from his phone. His parents had had some inkling that something was going on. And he's also... Hold on one second. Hold on. Bella, what you doing? Excuse me, I'm sorry. So that's Timothy Cunningham. So if you've seen him, or, you know, I guess I could pull up a picture. That's what I should have been doing when I was going to see what Bella was doing. Straight from the A. Oh, is this straight from the A? So this is him. Can you see him? Okay. His name is Timothy Cunningham. An epidemiologist at the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta left work on February 12th, saying he wasn't feeling well, hasn't been seen since. 35-year-old Harvard graduate. Graduated from Morehouse with a master's, a doctorate from Harvard. Okay, so if you've seen him or have any information. Woman arrested for stealing pro boxer's bag of over $100,000 in cash and jewelry. So I don't know who the pro boxer was. So that's like a common thing to just be walking around with $100,000 in your bag in cash and jewelry, or was that his prize from the boxing match? How does that work? Who does that? What would you do if you found a bag? I'm not saying you took it from someone, like not the 5-finger find, but you just found a bag with cash and jewelry. You turn it in. That's probably the right thing to do. What if you turned it in and then in 30 days they said you could have it, as if the police would give it back to you? Creative Ghanaian teacher goes viral for teaching MS Word without computer. This is how Microsoft responds. I think they're going to give the children computers, right? I just love the creativity of folks. I don't need no computer to teach computers. We can do this on the chalkboard. Breaking news. White man charged for spitting on black child and calling him N-word at Hooters. And it's a little bitty boy. Y'all seen this? Like, the little boy is like 5'4". He little. Oh. Who out here spitting on children and calling them names? So anyway, we heard about it but anyway, he's been charged now. So I guess the situation, the case is progressing. Trump's White House is setting records in turnover of high-level staff. Diddy calls out French Montana over light skin excellence Instagram post. I think the theory is, I'm not sure why Diddy called him out. Maybe he's like black excellence includes light skinned people. So what you talking about? And shoot, nine times out of 10, quiet is kept. Usually, the black people who have, been held up as the paragons of Paragonianness have been the lighter skinned black folks. So, that kind of almost goes without saying. That's like white people being like, well, you have a Black History Month. Why don't we have a White History Month? Because almost everything is about y'all. You talking about melanin popping. Well, what about the light skinned black people? Because almost everything is about y'all. It's okay. Y'all are okay. You go make it without having all of the attention on you all of the time. Oprah Winfrey admits she doesn't know how to make new friends, but Ava DuVernay was the exception. So, do you know how to make new friends? Are you good at making friends? I'm friendly. I like people, but I'm not really, I don't know. It's like it takes me a while to warm up to people. I mean, like I'm friendly, but not like, oh, you're my new best friend. Now, sometimes I'll joke and say that, oh, you're my new best friend. But I have encountered a couple people in my adult life who I instantaneously felt connected to. But one of those people, we're friendly now, but it was like hot and heavy. We became close friends for a while, and now, she and I barely speak, but we're cordial. I mean, we didn't fall out. And I don't know what the issue is. Florida grand jury indicts Nicholas Cruz on 17 counts of murder in high school shooting. How a 21-year-old Instagram star who makes $10,000 a month spends his money in a typical week. So I don't know how this whole Instagram star thing works. I guess he's getting money from endorsements or whatever, because we just saw an article, weren't we talking about one yesterday, where somebody was spending like $10,000 trying to become an Instagram star. I guess the investment might make sense theoretically if you thought you were going to be able to make $10,000 a week. If you could just get the cycle, like prime the pump, then, it might be worth it. Because I just thought that was foolishness. She's spending all this money trying to be an Instagram star. But anyway, yeah. Hey, welcome in. Prosecutor gives white supremacists who idolized Charleston massacre and planned bigger attack absurd plea deal. So he's like, oh my gosh, what they were doing in Charlottesville or Charleston. Oh, wait a second. What's Charleston? Oh, that's wonderful. I idolize it. This might be the guy with the Emmanuel 9. Now I'm confused because Charlottesville and Charleston are two different things, aren't they? Dylan Roof. Okay. So isn't that interesting? Charlottesville and Charleston is like Charles, like the code word for, people who want to kill black people to get together and do it, or, is it like a trigger word or something, Charles? I have a cousin named Charles. But anyway, he got a plea deal. He was arrested before he could do anything, because I remember, or I don't know, I'm sure he's done many things that we don't know about, or I'm not sure, but that would be my theory. But I was surprised when he was arrested, because I'm like, he was planning an attack, but he hadn't done anything. I mean, I know they'll do that in a minute with black and brown folks, but I had no idea that white folks got arrested. I thought even when they did stuff, they didn't get arrested. So it's very confusing for me. But he got arrested, but he made a plea deal, and some people think it's absurd. The Griot does. Marine Corps investigating after Black Panther movie marquee rearranged to include Nigger. Some people are like really uncreative and like stupid. Like it's kind of like a kindergartner. Like they latch onto something and they can't let go of it. It's like if you look on Twitter, and I feel like black folks find a million ways to insult somebody. And, these folks have one, I guess it's tried and true. So they just figure they stick to it. But it's so dumb and uncreative. And a woman screamed, "I am God," and tried to open a plane's door mid-flight, it seems like she was having, the way the article read when I skimmed it, it seemed like she was having some sort of breakdown. Topshop is being torn apart by customers for selling a vegan shirt with a recipe on the label that includes butter and eggs. So obviously, it's like cultural appropriation, except it's not exactly cultural appropriation, but they're like, oh, vegan, that's like a handy catchphrase. We'll use that. But they don't really know that, especially the people who are like some people, like, you know, I'm not vegan, but I don't do a lot of dairy and eggs and all the cheese, all of that kind of stuff. But you know, but people who are like hardcore vegan, they like, you know, they hardcore. They don't want no animal products. They not gonna eat them. They not gonna use them. It's like very serious to them, like culturally, like if you're part of that culture, as opposed to like for me, it's like a way that I eat, but it's not like some, you know, intent. Like I don't. You know, when I became a vegetarian, I did not become a vegetarian because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm concerned about the animals. Now, over the years, my sensitivity to animals has shifted. You know, I've noticed through my meditation practice or whatever, I'm like way more sensitive to, you know, and I feel like bad for animals. And like before, I never really thought about it. But a lot of people become vegetarian, become vegan because they're concerned about other living beings or whatever. But sometimes other living beings, as long as they're not brown and black skinned. Okay. Killed Salvadorian Archbishop Romero to be made a saint. I'm like kind of fascinated or interested in like this process in the Catholic Church of like how people become saints. Like, you know, I just like, there's a whole, you know, there's a word tickling my brain, but I can't think of it. Like before you become a saint, you get, something happens to you, like, but I can't think of it right now. Mother's Day. The Belgian nursery school ditching traditional celebrations. They're not going to have a Mother's Day at their school. They're not going to have a Father's Day at their school. They're going to have a family day. So this is the day when we honor our family and appreciate our family. But there were some people who did not feel comfortable with this whole Mother's Day, Father's Day thing. Maybe because they ain't have a mother, maybe because they ain't have a father. So we're going to do family day. We got families, we're going to celebrate our families. And some people are like, well, I felt comfortable. I celebrated Mother's Day. And they're like, if there's one child that feels uncomfortable, then we won't do Mother's Day. We're going to do Family's Day in honor of the children. So that's how I read the article. After H&M monkey hoodie debacle, that's with baby Liam wearing the shirt that says cutest monkey in the jungle or whatever. The company hires a black marketing team, and they're from South Africa. Sergei Skripal and 14 deaths under scrutiny. Black Panther, I don't know who Sergei Skripal is. I don't know why I put that article. Black Panther has a great third week and continues to break box office records. Tennessee removes lynching mural after complaints of racism. Now, this is the second, I guess I heard about it first when there were like complaints going on about it, but I actually saw the image. And it was like I guess it's a mural. I don't know what makes it a mural, but anyway, it was like a painting on a wall. So maybe that makes it a mural, but it like looked really like poorly done. And I think that what it was, when I read it, I was kind of confused because I'm like, so they weren't lynching a black man. But when I looked at the image, it was like, oh, I think it was like a Confederate, person lynching a person from the North. Like, I think they were both in two different military uniforms or whatever. And, people were like, oh, they're so sensitive. Oh, I don't know. But I'm kind of like, now, and this shows our pride and our history and stuff. But it's like a school for like little children. And I guess little children are exposed to violence all the time. But like, why are you painting pictures of people being lynched on the wall of the school for the little children? I don't know. I don't understand. Sri Lanka police and Buddhist rioters clash after emergency declared. So this is more arguments, fights, tension, drama between Muslims and Buddhists. And I think that it's similar in the country Rohingya, where the Rohingya situation is going on. I think that that's a clash between Muslims and Buddhists. And I guess this whole thing is kind of educating me. Like, for some reason, before I started reading about the Rohingya, or I think it was the Rohingya, I thought of Buddhists as like, they meditate. I never really thought of Buddhists like out here fighting, but I think of Muslims fighting. I think of Christians fighting. I think of other groups fighting. I just thought, I don't know why I thought that Buddhists were above or, in a whole different category. But I guess human beings are human beings, whatever their spiritual beliefs are or their spiritual practices are or whatever. But how you gonna be? I don't know. So, yeah, there's some stuff going on in Sri Lanka. Advance your career with essential soft skills. And this one was interesting to me because, the article is basically talking about, people think about, in terms of getting jobs, the skills that they need are, I need to know how to write computer code. I need to know how to, like, what are hard skills? Like write computer code. I need to have passed this educator test. I need to have passed the bar exam. Hard skills. But this is talking about soft skills. Like, but I thought that the soft skills were important just in terms of like youth development and human development, critical thinking and problem solving, ability to collaborate and to lead, adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurialism, superior verbal skills, ability to access and analyze information, curiosity and imagination. I just thought that was like a list for like youth development, human development stuff. Like those skills seem like they're like just important for people to, I don't know. I was just like, oh, I like the skills when I saw them. Okay, what's next? Why donors are spending millions to support Stacey Abrams campaign to become first Black female governor. Is this the first Black female governor anywhere? Because I think that we've only had like one Black male governor. So she's trying to become the first Black female governor, period, anywhere in 2018 in America. I don't know. Okay, let's see if this story will come up. The first African-American governor in Georgia and some influential donors. Oh, she says the first African-American governor in Georgia. Former House Minority Leader. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to research that later because I don't see, it's not like obvious. But I don't think you don't have like a lot of, you have some Black mayors, but you don't have like a lot of Black governors. Black and brown governors. Why Pharrell and Adidas are accused of cultural appropriation in social media firestorm. So they have some line, like brand of like Adidas, where it's like it's like in honor of like, I can't remember what the Indian cultural celebration is, but I think you throw paint on people. And Pharrell, is he? I'm so happy. Is that his song? Pharrell? I don't know. But so they're selling sweatshirts and tennis shoes and, Adidas-y type things. And, the people are like, he not Indian. Why is he part of the campaign? And they're saying, well, we go around the world and find things to celebrate because we're happy. I don't know if they said because we're happy. I'm just throwing that in because I think he's happy. So, but some people say in the image, the footage of him at the cultural celebration, he looks really uncomfortable. So maybe they just sprung it on him and he's like, I don't know. Or maybe he just I don't know. But anyway, he's been accused of cultural appropriation. Ethics experts say Trump should fire Kellyanne Conway after she crossed an ethical red line. I'm like, don't they specialize in crossing ethical red lines? And like, who is he? Who is Zero to be firing anybody over crossing any ethical red lines? And I mean, I'm just like baffled by the whole concept. Like, it just seems so ridiculous to me. It came out of nowhere. Kevin Love opens up about mid-game panic attack. So, I've never heard of an athlete talking about having a panic attack, a professional athlete talking about having a panic attack while he was playing a game, but that's what happened to this man. Kraft Heinz is going after small organic food brands just as Whole Foods abandons them. So like here in Detroit, and I guess throughout the whole foods world, if you wanted to like start like I want to start a lemonade. Remember the little black girl who did the lemonade, the organic lemonade? Like last summer we saw her all over the place. She would be able to get into Whole Foods because Whole Foods had a lane for small, new, local businesses to come into their shops. So you might be able to get into the Detroit shop or the Detroit and Ann Arbor shops, like some Michigan Whole Food stores, even if you weren't in Whole Foods nationally. But, because there was but I guess that Amazon has taken away that focus on the local, and that lane does not exist at Whole Foods anymore. And now Kraft Heinz, which I didn't know was a combined company. I have heard of Kraft products and I have heard of Heinz products, and I generally try to stay away from them because they seem like really, really big mainstream brands, and I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And so now they're going to be incubating small brands because they see probably because they see an opportunity to make money. That's what I figure. But it kind of makes me feel like, wow, I wonder what type of value system they're going to have as they're mentoring these small brands. You know what I mean? Because sometimes these companies that were, these organic food companies, processed food companies, usually they start off with a certain value system and a way of sourcing food and a way of moving in the world. And then if they get bought out by big corporations, the big corporations have modalities, like ways of being in the world that might conflict with these small companies. And so then the big company usually ends up winning. Like I remember there was one brand, I didn't buy it, but my husband, when we got married, he was buying it. And he realized that the brand had kept their packaging exactly the same, but changed their ingredients. And that's not really an uncommon thing. Even though I'll know, oh, this is something that I usually buy and it's safe, I still periodically will check the ingredients because things change. But he felt like it was like a hustle, they got you used to buying that brand and then they changed it. But at the same time that the change in the ingredients came, where they went from organic to non-organic, the company had changed, like the ownership structure had changed. And a lot of these small organic food or small healthy food companies get bought out by these big companies. That's why, I've never really been much of a soy person. I've never really been much of a processed food person. But when you get this soy processed food at the grocery store, where they're like soy burgers, a lot of these big corporations like to have these soy burger companies because they use soy as a cleanup crop. So they put all the pesticides in the ground, and the ground is kind of like a body. It can only take so much before it starts to get sick. And then they grow soy, and the soy will absorb a lot of the pesticides and mess out of the ground. So the ground gets a little healthier, and they can then do their monoculture growing again. But meanwhile, they just had the soy and they were throwing it away. But now that they bought all these soy companies, they can put that soy that was clean up soy in your veggie burger, your veggie sausage, your veggie chicken nugget thingies. So it's like the quality of the food, and you out here trying to do better, and it's like they making you worse. I don't trust them. So Heinz and Kraft. But I guess as I've progressed on my food path, I don't hardly eat very many processed foods anyway. I'm really just not much of a processed food. I was going to say if at all, but I do on occasion, but yeah, I'll cook some rice and beans in a minute. Why Candy Burris says she received more royalty than initially discussed from Ed Sheeran's Shape of You. I don't know Shape of You, but when I read the article, I think I've heard of Ed Sheeran. I think he's like a redheaded white guy or something. But they contacted her and said, hey, we sampled No Scrubs or something in this song, in this music, and we want to pay you. And so they were negotiating, and then they Candy never heard anything from the Ed Sheeran people. You know, the Have Your People Call My People. So their people were talking. And then her people weren't hearing anything. And so she says that she figured, well, I guess they didn't decide to use it until she heard it on the radio. She like, oh, they using it. So then they had to pay her more. She said, we didn't get crazy, but they paid her, they negotiated for a higher rate because they had already released it. Why has people dropped the ball like that and not negotiate before? Striking maps reveal the huge wealth gap between American cities and the rest of the country. And this was really, I like, some things are very interesting to me visually, but this thing had like red dots for like if you were like made $25,000 or less, and then like purple or blue, I can't remember, but it was like blue, let's say, for if you made $150,000. So like when you looked at the map of the area, it was like different places seemed to be lit up. Like I think the blue was lit up. So it was just visually like you could see like it's lit up with money there. It's lit up with money there. It's lit up, you know, visually it was just like, that's the money spot, you know. But yeah, so that's that. Terry Crews agrees to mental exam before sex assault lawsuit in Hollywood. So he's going to have an 8-hour mental health exam. Now, when I was reading the article, he seemed like some of the things that he was like saying, like that the computer that he built with his son had been hacked since he had this interaction with this man at this party. There were like some things where I was kind of like, well, maybe he is having some mental health issues and they know that at his agency and they're going to exploit that. But, you know, it's sort of like the things are not mutually exclusive. Like someone could have sexually harassed you or sexually violated you, and you could have mental health issues. You could have had mental health issues before you were sexually violated. The sexual violation could have caused some mental health issues or aggravated some mental health issues, and you could have a mental health issue after. You know, like they're not mutually exclusive. It's not like, well, if you have mental health issues, you can't be sexually violated. Like, you know, so I don't even exactly know what the but I mean, I guess that's like a common thing when we're talking about, you know, you blame the victim. What did they do wrong? What's wrong with them? Why is it their fault? And this person, you know, the aggressor or whatever, they're not the aggressor. They're the victim because this person, she went out in a short skirt. I mean, she went to his house. I mean, how could she go to his house? I mean, that made him have to rape her or, you know, whatever. That was like an obvious agreement that, you know how it happens. You know, why did you have an attitude when he told you to get out the car? You should have just got out the car. You know, why didn't you make yourself bulletproof so when he shot you, you wouldn't die? I mean, I don't understand. You know, it's not our fault. It's your fault. Former LAHH, Love and Hip Hop rapper, Hazel E., was she a rapper? Seeks redemption after hateful comments about darker skinned women. So I think a comedian made some, Just Hilarious, I think is the woman's name, made some comment about Hazel E. And Hazel E. was like, you know, you just mad because you can't pass the paper bag test and, you know, stop lightening your skin. All these dark skinned women are lightening their skin. Stop lightening your skin and try to get some self-esteem. And my mother warned me that, you know, people, you know, that y'all would come after me because y'all are dark skinned and I'm light skinned. So that makes me better. Now, I don't have any opinion about whether the woman is attractive or not. I think I've only seen, I don't even really know what she looked like. I have heard her name before, but I did hear somebody talking about the fact that she's like really unattractive to them, or maybe people commonly talk about her, and that she's had a lot of plastic surgery. So, but in my experience, I feel like light skin is valued to the point that it's above and beyond, especially on a woman, what you look like. Like light skin has like way more value over, you know, being cute, whatever. And cute is subjective anyway, but light skinnedness is not subjective, you know? So anyway, I guess it ended up being a big deal. And they say former Love and Hip Hop person, so I guess she got kicked off the show behind it. I didn't really follow up, so I didn't know, but she's trying to get some redemption. So I don't know. I mean, who knew people could get in trouble for saying things about dark-skinned women? I mean, it's like a whole new world out here. Maybe, possibly, perhaps. Uber's self-driving trucks are making deliveries in Arizona. So if you're in Arizona, you might be on the road with a truck that don't have a person driving it. How you feel about that? And they're making deliveries, in Arizona, so probably within Arizona. But it's like the future is here, and we don't really have any choice, because if you're going to be on the road, you're just going to have to deal with it. So if you don't like computers, or you don't want computers driving next to you, oh well, I guess. It's kind of like a little like, wow, Movie Pass can't answer important location tracking questions. So this is these Engadget people. They're continuing their investigation and their discussion on this whole Movie Pass thing. And they asking questions. I don't know what's going on at Engadget, but they have just gotten really like investigative-y, reporty-y. Before, it just seemed like they were just like, this is what's going on in tech. They didn't really seem to have much opinions. But these days, they seem really opinionated over there. Russian MP, hey. I don't fill people up. Well, okay, just a little. He's been accused by a few women of, like one woman, I think she said he put his hand on her with JJ and everything, and, was trying to hit on her like real hot and heavy. And she's like, he says he doesn't fill people up. Well, maybe just a little. I mean, can you violate people a little? I mean, if you just put your hand uninvited on my vagina, and can it be just a little? I mean, I don't, no, sir. No. Underpaying drivers is essential to Uber's business model, according to new study on low wages. So the study that was done in the United States, I guess they done retracted that about how the Uber and Lyft people make $3.37. I think I read that. But here, I think this is coming out of Australia. They're like, that's their business model, to underpay people. That's how they're making money. So the conversation continues. South African triathlete Malingi Gwala in hospital after attack with saw. So a triathlete, he runs, he bikes, he swims. So he's preparing for some trial, and he's exercising out on the bike with his exercise buddy. Some people pull him off the bike, pull him into the bushes. They have a chainsaw, and they try to saw his legs off. Now, they saw through the skin, but their chainsaw was not strong enough to saw electronically through the bones, so they just start hacking away at his hands. This is in South Africa. The person who was with him says that the people were not speaking Zulu, or a language that he understood. He thought that they might have been from Nigeria, and it sounds like someone who's like Nancy Kerrigan, remember when the ice skater hit Tanya? They just made a movie about it. Hit the other woman, or had the theory is that, but anyway, the one competitor got hit trying to make, I guess, the field better for other people. So were they trying to saw the man's legs off? Like saw his legs off of his body? Like, that's like savage. Like, oh my gosh, who does that? And then his buddy, the people are like, he don't really have no enemies. But I mean, so he's in the hospital. So just prayers out to him and his family. And oh my God, they say he's not going to be able to compete in this upcoming thing. But it sounds like he might be able to compete again. I'm like, wow, that's just... Babies who look like their dads are more likely to be healthy, according to new study. When babies look more like their fathers, the fathers play with them more. When fathers play more with their children, children are healthier. I didn't know that. And I guess that I had heard someplace or whatever that newborns are more likely to look like their fathers than anything else. Like it's like a biological survival thing, so that you can be like, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, but then they see the baby, they be like, that's my baby, so they don't kill the baby. I mean, most people aren't going to kill the baby, but there's something in the way people are that, if the men know it's theirs, then it's better for the baby. So the babies have adapted to look more like the men. And also, they're going to be healthier if they look more like the men. New York City could get up to 1 foot of snow on Wednesday in the second winter storm in 1 week. And I think it's called like a thunder snow. which is unusual because I think that I heard that thunder and lightning usually don't happen in the same type of storm where snow happens. So to have thunder and lightning and snow is like unusual. Coca-Cola plans to launch its first alcoholic drink. As if Coca-Cola wasn't bad enough, they're going to launch an alcoholic drink. Okay. A toddler who wanted to watch Peppa Pig locked his mother out of her iPhone for 48 years. I don't think the toddler was trying to lock, but I think that what happened was, you put the code in and you get, like on my phone, I get 10 tries to put my phone in and then you get locked out. But I don't think you get locked out for like 48 years, do you? Now, maybe he just kept doing it repeatedly as soon as he could get back in. And so then they like, okay, instead of being locked out for an hour, now you locked out for 2 hours. Okay. Instead of being locked out for 2 hours, now you locked out for a week. Okay. Instead of being locked out for a week. Like how you get to 48 years? How are they locking people out their phones for 48 years? Chechnya helicopter crash kills at least 7. Oh, rest in peace for those people who made their transition and, for their families and communities. 4-time Olympic gold medalist Mo Farah says he was racially harassed at Munich airport, but police told us he got upset over a standard passenger security check. Now, that's the thing about racism and sexism and stuff. Sometimes when stuff happens, you don't really know how to interpret it. You don't know what it is. Was that racist? Was it in me? I'd be like, was it racist? Was it sexist? Was that just an asshole, a butthole? I mean, what just happened here? You don't know unless they say, you N-I-G-G-E-R, you N-I-G-G-E-R-B-I-T-C-H. Then you'd be like, oh, they got an issue with me being black and a woman, Or, well, they got issues. I don't know. Will and Jaden Smith commit to sending water to Flint until lead levels go down. Now, when I saw this article, I thought it was Will and Jada. And I had forgotten that we talked about the fact that Will and Jaden were starting a water company. So I guess Jaden, the son, not Jada, the wife, they're doing a water company thing and they sending water to Flint. Now, when I saw it, I was kind of like, is it going to be in plastic containers? And then it's kind of like, is up this high. As water systems are upgraded and they put in those like PVC pipes, which are supposed to be okay, but I'm like, they seem like plastic to me. Like I'm not a fan. But, you do have to look at things on levels. So some water is better than no water. Tap water is better than, water out of a ditch. Water, like hey, Rowdy Chica, thank you for the light, girl. There are levels to this, so you got to look at the levels, I guess, and just be thankful, and get as high up as you can on the scale, but don't turn nothing down, I guess, and that's I like that, for the little young man to be trying to add value to a community, to black folks, whatever. Hundreds of Baltimore students stage mass walkout to march on City Hall for gun safety. Good for the children in Baltimore. Common left an inspirational voicemail for a young rapper years ago who would go on to become a Grammy winner. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, was it Chance the Rapper? And it was Chance the Rapper. Is he the only... I guess other people, young rappers, have won Grammys, right? But for some reason, I just thought it was Chance the Rapper, and it was. Nick Cannon facing lawsuit for not paying She-Ball movie crew. So I guess he has a movie called She-Ball, and the crew was like, you ain't pay us. So is he out here not paying people? Is that what's going on? Or are the people lying on him? Like, what's going on? What's going on? Remarkable before and after photos show New York City's public space transformation over the past 80 years. Oh, I didn't look at it, but I like to see before and afters. Barbie releases doll celebrating diverse leaders for International Women's Day, which I think was yesterday. So happy belated International Women's Day. Did you celebrate a woman yesterday? Trump every day. Trump administration sues California over sanctuary policies. You will not be sancting, hiding, protecting, helping any immigrants on my watch, says the Trump administration. U.S. slaps more sanctions against North Korea for the killing of Kim Jong-un's half-brother with VX chemical. That's the thing they spray. The women say, oh, we thought we were participating in a reality show that was fun and funny where we spray something in his face, and then the guy died. So it's a VX chemical. And Uber self-driving trucks are making deliveries in Arizona. We talked about that. Noah Wiley to top-line CBS pilot Redline from Ava DuVernay and Greg Berlanti. The only I recognize Ava DuVernay, so she's I don't know if she's expanding, but she's doing projects that I don't know that to be a project with black or brown folks, but she out here doing it. 3 daycare workers were arrested after allegedly giving children melatonin before nap time. Here's why that's a terrible idea. 1, why they giving the children drugs to take a nap? The children take the nap during the day anyway. You ain't got to give them drugs. And 2, you giving them drugs and their parents don't know you giving them drugs. Okay. But anyway, don't be giving, but anyway. 10 times you should never use your debit card, even if it's convenient. And they were just talking about the fact that your debit card, unlike a credit card, I don't use credit cards either, but your debit card is linked directly to your bank. So if you use them in certain situations, there's like no buffer and your information is out there. I'm more or less a cash person. I don't really, because I don't want anybody getting into my business, I'm so like backwards or something. I don't know. I'm suspicious, I guess. I don't know. But I don't do all of that stuff. But that's it. That's this another edition of Notes on the News Feed. So I did America's Next Top Model, and I also did Married at First Sight. So if you watch my reviews on any of those shows, or you might be interested, check those out. And I am going to do This Is Us. Woo! Y'all, This Is Us. Did you see it? Girl, okay, so that's it. That's what I got. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. You are the number one stunner. I enjoyed you too, Rowdy Chica. It's nice of you to be here with me. So I'm back to live streaming because I'm not trying to send it over to any place right now until I get more information, or unless it's going to work for me. But that's what I got. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you, be fabulous, you. Peace. Peace.